On the road to Macstock with Brett Terpstra. This is Mac Voices. This edition of Mac Voices is supported by the MacVoices Dispatch, our weekly newsletter to keep you up on all the latest from Mac Voices. Watch or listen to Mac Voices straight from your email client. Sign up at macvoices.com/newsletter and stay up to date. Welcome to Mac Voices. This is the talk of the Apple community, and I'm Chuck Joyner. Folks, you thought we were done with the road to Macstock, but no such luck. No, we have news and announcements and a new speaker and everything. I'm happy to welcome back to Mac Voices after way too long an absence, Brett Terpstra. Brett, great to see you, and congratulations on being the guy that Macstock came to save the day.
The fallback guy. Yeah. Good to see you too, Chuck.
Well, I was trying to pump you up, Brett. Come on now. So Mike Potter has sent out an email. Unfortunately, there were a couple speakers that had family emergencies. And of course, that's just the way things go. Family always has to come first. So there were a couple open slots, and you are stepping in to do something that seems to be a little bit different than anything that's done at Macstock before.
Yeah. Well, so I had very intentionally decided I wasn't going to present this year. I wanted a year to just enjoy Macstock, just see everybody, go to the talks, and not have the stress of like planning a talk. And then a week before, I got an email from Mike that said, "I hate to ask, but," and I didn't have it in me to spend a week of my vacation from work prepping a talk. But I offered to do a panel, and I talked about maybe we do like an automation AMA with like me and Jay. But what we settled on was to actually take the Q&A from the speakers' talks for the day and put them all together in a special session at the end, which would be like a roundtable talk with all of that day's speakers, hosted by me. And just answer any questions about the talks, about the speakers themselves, about any of my projects. Mike volunteered me to talk about my stuff too. So it'll just be 40 minutes of answering questions and interaction, and it'll give the speakers a little more time if they don't have to fit all of the Q&A into their talks. It'll give them a little extra time for their presentations, and then we can have the Q&A in a nice, intimate setting. It'll be fun.
I think this is such a great idea for a lot of reasons. The very first year that we did Macstock, there was a Q&A for podcasters because there were quite a few podcasters present. But I really love the fact that now we're focusing on the speakers and, stretching it out so that it can be about the talks, but it can be about kind of just about anything else that anybody wants to tackle.
Yeah, I missed the very first year of Macstock, so I wasn't privy to this original incarnation of it that you speak of. But yeah, I think it'll be just a great way to tie. I wish that we hadn't lost two speakers, and that we could still do the same thing. Look, this was good. Like Mike had wanted to make this a 3-day event, and if that had worked out, maybe in the future. Maybe we'll get to have more speakers and do this kind of panel. But yeah, for what we get this year, for what Macstock is able to pull off, I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Macstock has always been about community. We talk about that constantly here on the road to Macstock, and anytime that the Macstock comes up, it's the presentations are great, and I know I'm looking forward to a number of them this year. I'm looking forward to all of them, but some especially for what I do. That said, though, some of the best times are in the breaks, at lunch, in the after hours. I mean, it's just getting together, getting to know people, and having a good time. And that feels like this has pulled this into the main part of Macstock.
Yeah. And that's what, for me, the talks are almost a formality. Like Macworld was the same way for me. Like I didn't go for the talks. The talks were fun and educational, but I went to see the people. And that's the part that I'm most excited about, is the audience of Macstock. And yeah, I think a session that is slightly more formal than chatting in the cafeteria, but still all about just involving the community, I think it'll be great.
So do you have any, are you pre-preparing any questions, or is it just going to come straight from the audience?
What I will do is I will be in every session, I'll be in every talk, taking down my own questions, and instead of asking them in the panel or in the presentations, I will save them. And if necessary, I can seed it with my own questions and keep the conversation going. I'm hoping that there will be enough audience interaction and questions from people who have spent all day going to these talks that we will have no problem filling 40 minutes with like actual audience questions. But yeah, I'll have a few in my pocket just to make sure things go smoothly.
I think that's smart, but I'll be kind of surprised if you need them. My past experience, especially with Q&A sessions for the sessions I've done at Macstock, not only are they question and answer sessions, but they also turn into almost separate conversations about, whatever that person had a question about. There's always a lot of back and forth. So I have an idea that you should ask your own questions, but you won't have to really struggle to fill the time.
Yeah, I hope not.
Yeah. So you took a year off. How is everything going this year? I mean, it's been a while since you and I have talked, and we're finally coming back to Macstock after COVID. Last year sort of counted and sort of didn't, because it was sort of in person, but not a lot of people came for obvious reasons. But this year it's back at full strength, or as much as it can be, given some of the restrictions we are still all under.
Right. It's technically, I would say it's about half strength, but I've been good. I think last time we talked, I had probably just started my new job at Oracle, and I've done that for a year now. I just got promoted to principal software developer, which is a pretty big promotion that effectively doubles my earning potential there, which I'm pretty excited about. It's been busy. But that's not the reason I wanted a year off of Macstock. I took the year off because I really wanted some new fresh blood, and I wanted to basically open my spot up and suggest a few new speakers, people like Aaron, who was on your show recently, that I thought had a lot of interesting things to say, and I wanted to go and be relaxed and open those spots up for some fresh faces.
That's great. Yeah, Erin was a delight. I'm really looking forward to her session. I was a little surprised that she admitted to knowing you in public, though.
Right.
But hey, I guess,
maybe she doesn't know any better yet.
We all make mistakes, right? Right. So listen, if you don't mind saying, I mean, I presume that you are working now pretty much from home, that it's not the kind of going to the office job.
Yeah. Yep. That's all remote.
How has that worked out for you? Or was it a big change for you at all?
Oh, no, I've been a remote worker for, like 20 years now, almost 20 years. I haven't had an office job in a long time. So this is not an adjustment. This is just the way things are for me.
Okay. So since it's such a hot topic right now, the whole remote work, return to work, give us 2 or 3 tips that you think would help the average person make that change to remote work.
Oh man. So it's kind of a personal thing. Like, remote work is really good for some people like myself, and some people who actually thrive in an office can have a really difficult time if they're forced to be remote. And I think like the future is kind of hybrid offices where those who work better remote can be remote, and those who work better in an office can be in an office. I guess like the biggest thing I've learned is to create separate workspaces. Don't try to work out of your kitchen. Don't try to work out of your living room. Have an office. And when you're in your office, you're working. And when you are in your kitchen, you're having family time. And separate those two things. It helps not just with your family, it helps with your mental state. to just be able to say, okay, I'm going to work now, even if that just means walking into another room. I'm at work. Let people know this is, pretend I'm in the office, pretend I'm at work. Don't hassle me. I know that I don't have kids, so I know that doesn't work for everybody. But for me with my partner and everything, I can delineate between work and home time, and that's probably the number one tip I would give. And the other one is take advantage of the fact that instead of going to the water cooler and interacting with people you only marginally care about, you get to just go for a walk outside whenever you want to, like in those times where in an office you would just be killing time anyway. Now you can go to your own kitchen, have a snack, you can go for a walk outside, you can really do things that make you feel better during the day.
Those are two really good tips, and I would endorse both of them, especially the set up a workspace. Call it an office, call it workspace, call it your home cubicle, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, have a place that is dedicated so that you're not balancing a laptop on your lap or trying to clear the kitchen table.
Mm-hmm.
But that said, there is also, if you are a laptop user, if you want a change of scenery, then by all means, pick up your laptop and take it to the backyard or take it to the bedroom or take it, somewhere and give yourself a little change.
If you're a person that can work with background noise and you miss background noise, work in front of the TV now and then. It's actually really nice. You just put on a stupid show on Netflix and have it play while you're like doing things that don't require full attention, which I think everybody has as part of their job. It's really great to just be able to flip on Netflix and have that in the background while you're working. You can't really do that in an office.
No, that or, Apple Music puts something on that maybe is not something well enough that you want to try to sing along or, anticipate, but just background.
I have found songs without lyrics, or music without like words that I feel the need to pay attention to, or depending on my mood, like I'm ADHD and I have I go through moods where I really need a lot of stimulation, and I work really well with very aggressive, very loud music with unintelligible lyrics playing. Just that I can sometimes focus better with that blasting, but it doesn't work if I can understand the words.
Yeah, I agree. Some of the blues guitarists, with no vocals are great for that.
Yeah.
Joe Satriani is great. We could go into a whole list of things, and that's a whole other show. But yeah, I'm right there with you. You're saying a lot of things that really resonate with me. So I guess as we record this, I will see you in a few days in Woodstock, and I can't encourage everyone enough. I think Mike said that you're still able to get tickets right up to the event, so Macstock Conference and Expo.com. Brett is now going to be speaking. I'll be speaking. A lot of the folks you've seen here on the road to Macstock will be speaking, and we may not be done with the road to Macstock quite yet. We'll see. Brett, I want to make sure folks know where to find you when you're not at Macstock and you're not listening to unintelligible music while you work.
I'm at brettterpstra.com. That's BRETTERPSTRA.com. And you can find me as TTScoff, TTSCOFF on every imaginable social media platform.
Excellent. Brett, thanks so much for the time. We'll see you in a few days at Woodstock.
Thanks a lot, Chuck. Looking forward to it.
Folks, I'm Chuck Joyner. This is Mac Voices. Again, Macstock Conference and Expo. Join us. We're going to have a blast this weekend, and I know if you come, you will too. Until the next time, and as always, thanks for watching. Visit MacVoices.com for show notes and to connect with Chuck on social media. Get involved in our Facebook group or like our Facebook page, and get more out of your Apple tech with Mac Voices Magazine, free on Flipboard and on the web. And if you find value in it all, consider supporting us through either our Patreon campaign at patreon.com/MacVoices or by making a one-time donation via the PayPal link on our front page and in the show notes of each episode. You will join these fine people who help bring you Mac Voices. Advertising handled by Backbeat Media at backbeatmedia.com. Bandwidth provided by CacheFly at cachefly.com.